Welcome back to the Delaware Way. Let's talk about school bus safety, gas prices, driverless cars, and deer on the road with Ken Grant, Public and Governmental Affairs Manager at AAA Mid-Atlantic, and Matthew Eskridge, Traffic Safety Program Manager, also at AAA Mid-Atlantic. Thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it. Let me start off, if we can, by talking about school bus safety. You've recently had a horrible accident. Does it make the police more aware? Does it make the state legislators more aware? I know certainly it makes you more aware of the problem on the road.
I think it does. I think anytime you have a travesty of that magnitude and that nature, that it brings everything to the forefront. Does it increase enforcement? I would like to think so, but with police departments being strapped for cash and things of that nature, honestly, I couldn't give you an answer. It's a department by department thing.
What does AAA do when something like this happens? When you have something that happens on the roads with school bus safety, what is AAA's responsibility with that?
Well, I belong to a foundation, an education foundation, which is the education portion of AAA. I actually go out into the public and educate people about traffic safety. And actually, in the next few weeks, I'm actually going down to the Milford School District to give pedestrian and bus safety classes to elementary school kids. So we go out into the community and we try to provide education and awareness for exactly these things. And
Matt was saying just a little while ago that when you were a police officer, you would go with an undercover car in back of school buses when they stopped. If you saw somebody, you would go after them. I'm sure you'd love to see more of that.
I really would. And as we were saying before, and this was me personally, there would be no such thing as giving a warning to somebody who passed a school bus that was actively offloading children. I mean, to me, it's heinous.
And Ken, do you want to add to that real quickly?
Sure. Well, something else that just helps drivers to be aware of, and I'll ask Matt to explain a little bit more about what the child's perspective is. And if drivers understand how a child sees the world, I think they might be more prone to obey the traffic laws. And
yeah, and it's a proven fact that children under the age of 12, they don't have the same perception that you and I do. If a car is going down your street, you can tell if it's speeding or not. A child under the age of 12 doesn't have that quite yet. They know that a car may be going fast, but they couldn't tell you the speed that it's going.
Yeah, and the child doesn't need to have any responsibility. The people should stop when they see a school bus. It's their responsibility to stop. Let's talk about some other things. Thanksgiving travel. It's going to be a big year.
It is going to be a very big year, the biggest we've seen since 2005 when it comes to people getting on the road, getting in the air, getting on the water, and just getting away from home more than 50 miles. In Delaware, we're looking at approximately 147,000 people hitting the roads. That's a 6% increase over last year. That's 15% of the state population that we're looking at going out. This mirrors national numbers. We're looking at over 54 million people who will be traveling during the Thanksgiving holiday.
Because of the economy?
The economy is a big part of it. Of course, here in Delaware, we're enjoying the lowest gas prices in the country. So people in Delaware know that they
need to... Look at that, segue right to the next topic.
Go ahead and fill up their gas tanks here. And if you're traveling through the Delaware area, you might want to make sure that Delaware is the place you stop to fill up on the way.
I went through a lot of articles that AAA was involved in, and you're involved in so many things. And one was about deer in the roadways. Is there a bigger problem this year with deer?
So this is the time of year when deer are more active and rutting, especially during the dawn and dusk. You're going to see a lot more deer. So we've seen a lot more deer activity this year. I can tell you, I just saw one off of 95 that was hit getting off the 273 exit. So that's something that drivers, again, need to be aware of, not only in the more rural areas, but increasingly in the urban areas as well.
The idea of driverless cars, they're coming.
They are coming. So AAA served on the Autonomous Vehicle Task Force here in Delaware for the past year. We've been looking at this from a variety of angles. I would say that what we're looking at in the future, and they are coming, this is every major auto manufacturer in the world seems to be working on this technology, with the exception of two, Ferrari and Lamborghini. Are not working on driverless technology. But everybody else is, as well as your MITs and your various universities and tech companies. So what we're seeing is a future where every car on the road will be autonomous and connected. and we're not going to have to think about driving anymore. A lot of the topics that we talk about, whether it's safety, distracted driving, drinking, driving, all that will go away.
I would love to see either stricter regulations or more fines or more enforcement of the school bus laws, as I'm sure you would.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. Ken Grant, Public and Government Affairs Manager at AAA Mid-Atlantic, and Matthew Eskridge, Traffic Safety Program Manager, also at AAA Mid-Atlantic. When we come back, a small business in Newark is expanding. We'll explain when the Delaware Way continues.